Uh-oh, things just keep getting worse for the psychopath. That's right, psychopath narcissist Diddy, Sean Combs, is in a heat of even more trouble because trouble just keeps piling up for these psychopaths once Satan comes back for their souls. I don't know if you guys heard about the video, the surveillance video footage that was released by CNN just a few days ago that shows the psychopath Diddy basically kicking and slamming and beating his ex-girlfriend, well, girlfriend at the time, Cassie, back in 2016 at a hotel. Diddy had paid the hotel, I think it was $50,000 to make the tape disappear, but it has resurfaced, most likely for a reason. And that case was settled, and I will get into the details of that case for you guys later in the segment. But he released that apology video that I'm sure, again, unless you've been on vacation and had all your phones off and TVs off and just not paying attention to anything or anybody, I'm sure you've seen that BS apology video designed by a true psychopath. True psychopath. How many of you guys have dated what you think is a crazy person but is really a narcissistic, psychopathic ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend that has a history of domestic violence on you, lying, cheating, coercive control, and then when you press charges, when you go to the cops, when you threaten to leave them, you get these BS apologies, you get these crocodile tears, they turn to God for forgiveness, they put on a show. And that's what Diddy just did. He released this video that nobody believes, no one's buying that BS. No one's buying that BS. I've seen criminals about to go to jail personally start releasing similar videos on their Instagram, on their Facebook, talking about how much they love their daughter, talking about how much they love that girl, and yada, 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 because there's so much incriminating evidence already and they know they're about to get locked up. And this is what we're seeing by Diddy, who at one point was so powerful that he could make things go away. But it seems that luck is running out because you know what? Karma comes for everybody. There's a consequence for everything that's done in this planet. And karma's out to get Diddy now. And it's just one thing after another. So I think it was just yesterday there was another filing, another lawsuit in a federal district court in Manhattan. That's right. Former model Crystal McKinney has accused Combs of drugging and sexually assaulting her at his New York recording studio back in 2003. According to the lawsuit, the then 22-year-old McKinney met Combs while attending a men's fashion week event at a restaurant in Manhattan. During their meeting, the rapper allegedly came onto her in a sexually suggestive manner, leaving her confused but hopeful that Combs would fulfill his promises to help her career. Guys, if you don't know, Diddy's not just a rapper or a clothing designer or whatever. He was those producers that you sell your soul to and you make deals with to make it in the music industry. He was one of those. He was one of those, and he had beef with Death Row back in the day. His name was thrown in there with the murder of Biggie and Tupac. There was a lot of beef back in the day if you followed his career. I hate to side tangent, but I remember when Suge Knight called him out at an awards show, and he was like, if you don't want to deal with that producer that wants to be in all the videos and all of your videos, come to Death Row. And it's because, as you know, the narcissist in Diddy, he couldn't just help build your career as the singer. No, he had to be in your video too because he's such a fucking narcissist. And he was up on everybody's video just getting more and more fame and exposure for himself. But now we're exposing his true nature. Now we're exposing his true nature. Let me continue reading this lawsuit. So Combs then invited McKinney to his studio later that night where he offered her weed and now believes it was laced with a narcotic or other intoxicating substances. McKinney claims after she became very intoxicated that Diddy led her to a bathroom where he first kissed her without her consent and then forced her to perform fellatio on him. The suit alleges McKinney eventually lost consciousness, of course, before waking up in a cab and realizing she had been sexually assaulted. That's just horrible. It's horrible. But this has been going on and on and on with Diddy. A lot of these women are coming out now, and yeah, it sounds like a Me Too type of thing, but usually like the Me Too thing, like when the Me Too thing bothers me is when it's somebody that, you know, has never gotten into any type of trouble, has always been good in the public eye. There's never been any real, you know, negative media following his or her career, and then a bunch of people just come out and you can tell it's BS and it gets thrown out in court and it goes nowhere, but it permanently damages that person's name. Usually their company fires them, they get canceled on the internet and whatever, but it's a bunch of hokey dokey. But with Diddy, I think you all know this is like legit, and of course it still has to be proven, but there's a lot of bad shit that has been following this guy's career for a long time. He's been in the legal system for a long time. Other people have taken the fall for him. He has paid people off. It goes on and on and on. But this is just one of the many that was just filed, and I believe is going to continue. Because once again, you sell your soul. Remember, Diddy's not in his 20s anymore. Time's running out. Time has run out, actually. And Lucifer comes. You got a debt to pay. Okay? And when it happens, and when he comes, all bets are off. And this is the shit that we're witnessing right now. And the internet's going nuts about it. Even though there's a lot of Diddy apologists, and I promise you I will make a video addressing those flying monkeys later, possibly today. Got a lot of comments on the videos that made me laugh. But the internet's at an outrage because Diddy has denied these claims. He has testified in court denying all these allegations, and then a video comes out showing what a monster that psychopath Sean Combs really is. And once that's out there and the world sees it, you can't unsee it. Once the mask comes off of the psychopath and the narcissist, you can't unsee it. And the world has seen it now. You know what makes me laugh? A lot of things make me laugh. But it's also 50 Cent. He's had beef with Diddy for a long time too, and he's been trolling him on social media. I don't know if you guys watch those things, but it's kind of funny. But he has it out for him for good reason too. And he just sold a documentary to Netflix after a massive bidding war. Can you believe that? There's going to be a documentary on Netflix about Diddy's, all these allegations and lawsuits and all the sexual assaults and all the shit that has been plaguing Diddy over the past few months. This is going to be great. It says here, the series produced via 50's G-Unit Film and Television Studios, G-Unit, will reportedly focus on allegations of abuse by Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and a slew of other women. Netflix wins the war. This is 50 saying on Instagram, by the way. Netflix wins the bidding war, but if more victims keep coming out, I'm going to need more episodes. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get them, 50. I'm sure they're going to keep coming out. Guys, so a lot of you have been asking, what exactly has Diddy been doing? Like, why is he in the news? Why is everyone covering this story? Why am I covering this story? I'm covering the story because I hate psychopaths like this that fool the world. And you see through the mask and you see through the BS, and they keep paying people off. They keep getting away with things. I can't stand that. I just can't stand it. And finally, shit hits the fan. And it's like, you know what? Now you got my attention. Now you got my attention. And I'm just going to tell you how it is. Because everybody already knows this. Everyone that's been following this career, you know, they see this shit. But unfortunately, people forget things after a while, even at the event of sexual assaults and allegations and criminal behavior. Like, you guys remember Chris Brown when he beat up Rihanna? Remember that? And everybody hated him? and after a few years it was forgotten. They were seen out together again, and he put out more records, and it's like nobody even talks about that anymore. I hope this is not the case with Diddy, because enough is enough. This piece of shit needs to be locked up. And I think it's going to happen. Guys, I want to read you all the lawsuits so far, or all the trouble he's been getting into since November. It started with his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. This was November of 2023. This is where it all started. So it's November 16th to be exact. Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs, Diddy, accusing him of repeated physical abuse for over a decade, sex trafficking, sexual battery, sexual assault, and violations of New York City's gender-motivated violence law. The lawsuit was filed in Manhattan Federal District Court under New York State's Adult Survivors Act, which allows victims to file civil suits against their alleged abusers after the statute of limitations has expired. The one-year window to bring cases to court expired later that month. So Cassie Ventura, that's the girl that we saw in the hotel video, by the way. She met Combs when he was 37 years old in 2005 at the age of 19. Okay, so there's a huge age gap here. Claims that he immediately began a pattern of control and abuse. This is how psychos and narcissists get in there, especially like psychopathic narcissists. This is how they get in. Alleging he manipulated her with drugs like ecstasy, ketamine, assaulted her and forced her to sleep with several male prostitutes as he watched, as he played with themselves and recorded the encounters because he's a sick piece of shit. He signed her to his label, Bad Boy Records, and within a few years lured Miss Ventura into an ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him. Her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man nearly 2 decades her senior, detailed the filing. That's a pretty powerful way to describe that in the filing. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Ms. Ventura's personal and professional life, as psychopaths do, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. How many of you guys have been in a toxic relationship where you fear for your life if you try to leave, if you try to file for divorce, if you try to break up with your psychopathic abuser? I know many victims and survivors that have been in that situation. That's why I run this channel. I have a coaching program where I work with survivors to help them out of the trauma bond, to get out, because this is a very, very common form of abuse. You get in it with these people, and your brain just rationalizes that it's probably better if you comply. It's probably better if you comply and you stay in the relationship than try to seek help, than try to get law enforcement in, to try to escape, to try to break up. Because a lot of these people, once you go that route and you try to break up, they become obsessed with you, they become stalkers, they harass you, they threaten your life, they ruin your life. I know one that's in jail right now for being such a piece of shit to his ex. Piece of shit, you're gonna rot in jail, motherfucker. You're gonna rot in jail, or prison, that is, because from after you get sentenced, you're going to prison. I digress, of course. You know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this happened. As it says here in the filing, he provided unprecedented avenues for her success for the aspiring artist, but in return demanded obedience, loyalty, and silence. That's the thing. They want to keep you silent. So you start walking on eggshells, you're paranoid, you're living with anxiety, you go through panic attacks, but you have to keep quiet or you lose it all. And now we see that video that gets released. That's what was seen on the hallways of a hotel. Reminded me of American Psycho, when Patrick Bateman is chasing the chick and he's naked and he's running around with a chainsaw after her. It's a good thing Diddy was wearing a towel. He was wearing a towel, but it reminded me of that. Unfortunately, I don't know, maybe fortunately, but the lawsuit was settled on November 18th of 2023 for an undisclosed amount. So she settled, she got a payload. She did get a payload for this, most likely. But the asshole didn't get charged, didn't go to prison, got settled. That's how these motherfuckers continue to stay alive. But things continue to get worse because check this out. Also in November, Joy Dickerson Neal claimed Combs drugged and assaulted her while she attended Syracuse University in 1991. Dickerson Neal alleges that during a dinner date, Diddy slipped a drug into her drink while she went to the bathroom, pressured her to smoke a blunt as they left the restaurant. Her story continues to detail allegations that Combs sexually assaulted her, recorded it like the freaking shithead that he is, and showed the footage to multiple people. Of course, he gets off on shit like that. In April 2024, Combs filed a motion to dismiss the claims, of course, claiming that they were brought under statutes that did not exist at the time the alleged misconduct occurred, and that they should be dismissed with prejudice. That's a legal term for just throwing the case out. Targeting the claims of revenge porn and human trafficking. Yeah, of course you're going to make a motion for that. We're going to be keeping an eye on all these cases, by the way. Here's another one. Oh, gosh. Also in November 2023, Lisa Gardner. Same day that Joy Dickerson Neal made her allegations against Diddy, the psychopath, another traumatic account was revealed, initially reported as a Jane Doe, but it's actually Lisa Gardner accused Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall of assaulting both her and a friend in Hall's New York apartment in 1990 or 1991. According to Gardner's story, she and her unnamed friend, who is not named as a plaintiff in the lawsuit, met Combs and Hall at a label event. The suit details that the two men were flirtatious and handsy with Lisa Gardner and her friend, and requested their presence at an after party. While at Hall's apartment, Lisa Gardner was offered more drinks and coerced into having sex with Combs. After Combs finished doing his business, Lisa Gardner laid in bed, shocked and traumatized. The filing continues to detail Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Lisa Gardner to have sex with him as she attempted to get dressed. The lawsuit claims the unnamed friend was also assaulted. The alleged attack did not stop there. Gardner also claims that following the assault, Combs visited her where the girls were staying and became irate, like a savage most likely,
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh!
and allegedly assaulted and choked Gardner until she passed out. While allegedly looking for the friend because he feared she would tell the girl he was with at the time. Keeps getting uglier and uglier. The claims involved alleged misconduct against Mr. Combs from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute are all completely denied and rejected by him. Yeah, of course. An update filing detail at the time of the assault. Gardner was 16, by the way. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Underage. 16 years old. Too young to legally consume alcohol or consent to sex. Way to go, Diddy asshole. Way to go. Oh, this guy is gonna rot. This guy is gonna rot. Here's another one, December 23rd. This one's from Jane Doe, although the judge says that she's gonna have to identify herself. December 6th, a woman identified as Jane Doe accused Sean Diddy Combs, the psychopath, and others of rape in a lawsuit. Her story claims that Combs, former Bad Boy president Harve Pierre, and a third unidentified man gang raped her at a Manhattan recording studio in 2003 when she was only 17 years old. Again, let that sink in. Too young to drink, too young to consent to sex. The allegations claim the victim was trafficked across state lines and given copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. You catching this? For you Diddy apologists, I hope you're paying attention. According to the lawsuit, Doe and a friend were out in Detroit when Pierre approached her, eventually taking the teenager on a private jet to New York, where she was allegedly drugged, groped, and raped. The horrific recount claims Combs led the Doe to a bathroom where he raped her as she hung over the sink, as she slipped in and out of consciousness. Doe continued to allege Pierre then subjected her to non-consensual sex and that he finished by violently forcing her to give him oral. The victim claims to have been transported back to Michigan with very limited recollection of the return flight. Man, this is terrible. You know, when you start reading the details like this, it really hits you even more. You hear, you know, this hearsay, you hear stories, you hear posts, but when you actually start reading the allegations from the court filings, it really hits you hard because you got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind to make this shit up and go on record, right? And falsify all this shit. There's legal repercussions for that. You just don't make this shit up. So of course that's when Diddy made the first public statement, all in capital letters, of course. You know, it's again, like I dealt with psychopaths that do the same thing, all caps. Look at this. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening accusations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Here's where it really starts to get bad. Ready, guys? On February 27, 2024, Rodney Lil Rod Jones accused Sean Diddy Combs of illegal activity and assault. The lawsuit names Combs as well as his son, Justin Combs, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, Combs' chief of staff Christina Coram, and ex-Motown Records CEO Ethiopia Haptermariam, I probably butchered that name, as defendants in the suit. I believe some of those defendants, by the way, have been dropped, but that's the initial filing. In the lawsuit, Jones claims that he lived and traveled with Diddy for work from September 2022 to November 2023. And while on the live and gig, he alleged recorded hours of video and audio detailing Combs' explicit activities. Jones' allegations include claims that he was repeatedly sexually assaulted and subjected to non-consensual advances by Diddy's associates, detailing incidents that Combs groped his genitals and his butthole, and allegations that Combs would walk around him naked. That's fucking gross. Jones alleged that a female cousin of Diddy's public romantic interest at the time, Young Miami, also sexually assaulted him, claiming that the woman attempted to have sex with him in front of Diddy and his staff. Additionally, the City Girls rapper is accused of transporting pink cocaine, a combination of ecstasy and cocaine, also known as Tusi and Tucci, for Combs. Hey guys, I don't do coke or drugs at all, so I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably butchered it too. Please let me know how you actually pronounce that. Although Jones alleged the women included in the lawsuit were minors, the ladies claimed to be over 30. Others mentioned in the lawsuit include Stevie J and Cuba Gooding Jr. And then you probably heard about when they raided Diddy's home in March. That was March 25th. His property in Miami and Los Angeles were raided by the United States Department of Homeland Security in connection with a sex trafficking investigation. The Los Angeles residence is reportedly registered to Bad Boy Films. A subsidiary of Bad Boy Entertainment is also listed under the name of one of Combs' daughters. According to Homeland Security expert Hal Kempfer, the search evidence included laptops, flash drives, and anything that will connect Combs with the allegation. So they have that. They have all those things as evidence, and they will be analyzing that. So this is not over. This is going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. But time has run out for the psychopath Diddy, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever he wants to call himself. And it's really sick. It's really sick that it has come to this. It's sick that there's still people defending him, flying monkeys out there. But this is what happened when people like this have so much money and power. So much money and power, and they resort to horrific acts like these. Like, dude, you got all this money, you have all this influence, you could be changing the world for the good, man. You don't gotta be doing all this shit. Like, all this shit leads to a dark path. It is on a dark path. It is on a dark path. And do not think that just because he's the producer that makes people do deals and people sell their soul to him, believe me, he has taken the same deal, if not worse. And look where he's at now. And people close to him report that he's always high. He needs to be constantly high or drunk. He's just he never goes through the day sober. It's always that fucked up mindset. All day long, compromised. All those crazy parties. You would hear that all those parties, all the extortion allegations that have also come out that are not in any of these filings, but he would invite people to his parties and coerce them to do some crazy shit with minors and some gay shit. Can you say gay on the internet? Let's fucking try it. Gay. But yeah, gay shit, get it recorded on film, and then extort you and blackmail you. Basically, Diddy owns you. He's letting you know he owns your soul. That's the type of shit. And guys, if you know anything about the music industry, this type of shit is extremely common. People with billionaires, like the sickest people, the sickest billionaires in the world do atrocious things. You know about the Epstein Island type of shit too. This is not hard to believe. I believe this guy is going down. I believe time has run out. I believe he's going to start being dropped by streaming services. Peloton dropped him. Let's see if Spotify is going to drop him. Let's see what's going to happen. But this repercussions, one after the next. This guy's going down. This guy is going down. So there you have it. There's the information. Do what you will with it. Do what you will with it. But let me tell you, a lot of you people on this channel that are already subscribers, you're here because you've dated people like this. You're married to people like this. Perhaps not at such a grand level, but it's the same shit just in different tiers. It's the same shit but in different tiers, right? The coercive control, the manipulation and gaslighting, right? The threats, if you leave, I'm going to do this to you, right? The trauma bond that keeps you in the toxic relationship. Afraid that you'll never meet somebody like that. The confusion, the cognitive dissonance where you think that this person who abuses you, who treats you like shit, but gives you all these handbags and all these vacations and all this shit, you confuse that with love. You confuse this person, you see this person like he keeps you safe, but yet you feel like you're constantly in danger. You confuse safety for danger. It's the most bizarre, twisted thing. But that's why I have videos in this channel that explain trauma bonding, narcissistic, psychopathic trauma bonds, how they happen, how these toxic relationships are formed, why people stay in them, why people can't break out. Check out the videos that I have in the channel. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how much some of this information might even resonate with you or close people in your social circle, friends or family that are dating a psychopath like Diddy. All right? That's all I got for today. Be sure to subscribe if you like this content. My name is Kita. This is Psychopath Exposure. I'll catch you next time.